Back guys, another video from Modern Warfare 3. It's been a long time since I actually uploaded to the channel. Uh, but today I'm actually going to be going over a few builds that are going to be technically the worst guns in Modern Warfare 3 to be using right now. This could go for multiplayer and Warzone. I don't think you'll ever have a chance in order to kill someone unless you're a bot. But this is going to be the worst gun in the entire game, and it is going to be from actually Modern Warfare 2, and kind of near the end of its life cycle. But it's the MX Guardian, the full auto shotgun. Uh, the only one I think that actually came to Modern Warfare 2. So it's actually really solid. I put together a really okay-ish build when it comes to at least kind of giving you a fighting chance. But again, this gun is supposed to be absolutely awful when it comes to effectiveness. So right off the rip, we're going to go with everything that makes this gun worse. So you want to go with the barrel, and this is going to be the MXG short. It will give you all the cons, really, just hip fire spread, bullet velocity and range reduced, and aiming stability. You can actually look at the advanced stats here. The range for effective damage range is almost 2 meters, so it's pretty much trash. Minimum damage range is 6.5, so that's going to be like consecutive shots being shot off. I've got around like 5 to 6 shots in order to kill somebody if you're shooting from the hip, and that is landing all of them very frequently. And it's altogether it's not very good. Your bullet velocity is 295, even though you're not really going to be worrying about that since you're shooting pellets, but you could run that. For the muzzle, you're going to run the F-Tac Trident Core. This will reduce your bullet velocity by 12%. Looks like my controller's down there. And after that, that's all you're really going to be running for your gun, because I can't really put on the Dragon Breath rounds even though I would want to. I have to put on the double or burst fire trigger in order to actually have that on there. And in order for that to happen, it will bump up my damage range by 33%, and they'll actually go to a little bit longer range than what I have it right now, so I'm not going to be doing that. To kind of help you out with this build, I'm going to run the rear grip for the Stream SK. This will give you sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. We're mostly looking at the sprint to fire speed. This will increase by 25.8%. The laser, which is Kimura RL-L33 laser light. So this is going to be a flashlight laser hybrid. You want to go to here, and then you will have the sprint to fire speed increased by 20.9%. Keep backing up all the way. And in the magazine, which you'll put on, and this will increase it by 11%. That's the only mag. So all around, you'll have 3 attachments that help out sprint to fire speed, because you're not going to be aiming. Don't even worry about that. But for the target practice, let's say about the 10 meters, right? 6 shots in order to kill someone, and that's fully aiming. So shooting from the hip, $12 shots. So as you can see, not very good, and it's going to be like that for the majority of the game. So funny enough, you can actually do kind of okay with this if, again, like your teammates are not very aware. Like you have to go in some like kind of average to low skill lobbies. But what's cool about it is that you're not going to be missing. Your pellet spread is already wide enough as is. I think it is the widest you can get in the entire game. But saying that, you are going to have to be landing every single shot like that. So thank goodness it does have the widest pellet spread. And then back it up, I ran with a normal tier handgun, and this is going to be alright. So technically, if you do want to make a gun that's even less forgiving than this, you could just run the other shotgun, and that's going to be the Lockwood 300. You run that on here, and I'll be backing both of these up together. We want a trigger guard, not necessarily because it increases damage range. It does increase it by 28.6%, and this will barely have more damage range than the full auto MX Guardian. But what's going to be cool about it is that, or not really cool about it, but it'll give you 2 shots at the same time, but then you're going to have to reload every single time you pull the trigger, and that is going to be very annoying. Again, put it on the nose stock, the laser, a little bit of a hybrid. Let me see if I can find that again. I don't know if this one has it or not. There we go. 17.6% gives that one. And now, of course, the Bryson Special, so you want to make it like that. And the suppressor, you want to go all the way down to the Tempest Vox. I want to see real quick if there's anything else to make it worse. Yep, no. So 12% on that one, which isn't too bad. So we can remove that, and let's put down the ammunition as Dragon Breath rounds. So that will increase your range by 44%. Remove that. 12. Okay, so 2.1 meters. This will 2.7 meters. So we're just going to make it to where that it is slightly worse all around. So you're going to make it to where that it's going to be just normal 1.9 meters, which isn't that bad actually. It is exactly the same as the MX Guardian. So two of the worst guns in the entire game. And this is definitely has to be one of the worst. The MX Guardian does come close. Again, it is very much a hit marker machine. This one is going to be as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let me go ahead and find myself a good mode. Let's go ahead and go to Rio 24/7. Why not? We'll jump into here, and I'll show you guys how this thing works. I want to make sure the party is turned off. Yep, there we go. So my game chat doesn't leak into someone else. This is intentionally going to be one of the worst weapons in the entire game. I'll run a little bit with the Lockwood 300. That is definitely one of the worst. And the Shotgun MX Guardian. Again, this one has the effective range of 6.5 meters or distance anyway, 6.5 meters. And the Lockwood has 10.5 meters. So minimum damage range, it does technically have more, since it is the gun that's supposed to be more like a sniper. But again, it is very unforgiving, so good luck even landing those shots at that very short range anyway. See, like it doesn't even land it. Now let's see if we can get any kind of kills. So definitely the MX Guardian is worth using because you can actually spam it a little bit. It's a little bit more forgiving, but it's not very great. Kind of a shame they nerfed the slug rounds on this gun because it is very, very awful now. It is really just a shell of what this gun kind of used to be. Oh. Okay, well I died to a knife. Look at there. And yeah, I want to go ahead and jump into like a normal lobby this time around. See how long it takes. Okay, actually didn't do too bad there. See, massive pellet spread. This one even has a larger one, so it's really up to you. This one has a massive pellet spread to it. Since it's the Lockwood 300, it's already nerfed into the ground as is. Not really a good gun at all. But it is a fun little troll gun if you really want to use that. All this movement. I'm not really good at outplaying with a lot of that. Okay, died to knife again. See, this is why I normally go against bots, just to show you guys a little bit more of like how the gun performs in a head-to-hand gunfight. As you can see, I had a massive drop on the guy. He missed a lot of shots, and I still lost that gunfight. And it's Guardian. Look at that. So all around, not necessarily the best weapon. There you go, got one shot, one kill. Or two shots, really. So, this is definitely the worst guns. Next video, I'll be going over some of the best ones I like to use, or well, it's kind of hard to really pick out a best one, but there's a few exceptions. Like the right, KSV 545, pretty much the AN94 of this game. That one is actually really solid, especially after the Season 1 update. It just made it to where it's very consistent, and honestly, it feels smooth. It's like the M13 almost, when it comes to just general flexibility. You see that? Look. Up close and personal, and still didn't kill him. Let's see the kill cam. Let's see how far I dropped him. See? Absolutely awful. That's what's wild. This whole dual trigger thing, not really worth it. You can't even get yourself a kill, really, unless you're aiming with, and that is very difficult to be doing in a very quick time. The MX Guardian is definitely better to be using, even though it's still not the best. Intentionally, it's not even a good gun to begin with. I got one kill. I do feel sorry for guys that would actually be dying to these guns. Poor guys. It's these guns again, they don't even reach 2 meters. Almost 2 meters, but not quite. Look at that, I'm only left with 2 rounds left. Wasted an entire magazine. And that's what's wild, like you're going to have to accommodate for missed shots, you know, in the gun range. I didn't really miss any shots, the target's standing still, these guys move around. So good luck even killing one in one magazine. That's the worst part. So you're going to have to be reloading half the dang time. Yeah, so this is going to be pretty much the performance of the guns. It's not going to be too wild.
Mission time is half over. Maintain the lead.
There we go. Yeah, I figured out that sliding actually makes it go a little bit faster when you use it for a brief second, so solid mechanic for any beginner players or some that haven't already figured that out. Again, like 4 shots right there in that range in order to kill him. This is one god-awful gun. Definitely not as bad as the 725, but it's there. Like, they ain't gonna be winning any kind of prizes. Look, a guy on the other team tried it, so let's see, what does he have? Oh, he just picked up mine. You figured out how bad it was? Hey, he figured out how bad my guns were. And he still killed me with it. So you can use the Dragon Breath rounds. So all that will do is just increase your effective damage range, or one-shot kill range, to about like 2 or 3 meters, I think. It's not that crazy. It'll be buffing that, but the minimum damage will take a massive hit, so your maximum damage range will not do too hot. So it's really up to you on what you really want to scale it for. But this one is obviously the worst choice by going with normal pellets. 725 or the Lockwood 300 has seen better days. It has been nerfed in literally everything. Slug rounds got reduced damage this update, or Season 1 Reloaded update, which is a bit unfortunate. Went from 75 damage down to 57, and that makes it to where that it will not kill in one shot anymore. Because the headshot multiplier will go down because of the base damage. But it was supposed to be a nerfed, so when you use the double trigger, or the maelstrom trigger, I believe is what you call it, yeah. Or dual trigger there, it's not going to be able to one-tap people, or two-tap technically, at longer ranges. Or at very extreme ranges, you know, turn the Lockwood 300 into a double round, like a sniper rifle in a weird sense. Which is actually pretty dang wild, but by doing that, they didn't, instead of actually nerfing the attachment, so it applies that damage multiplier to slug rounds, they decided just to nerf the slug rounds itself. Oh yeah, that's right, I finally got myself a direct kill with it. Okay, that's some wild stuff. Oh, the guy was using a haymaker. That's what it was. No wonder he killed me faster. I was trying to figure out what he was using. See, even the semi-auto shotgun outguns this thing. But we still won, and I'm on top of the board. Okay, forget what I said about worst guns. Apparently that's a thing. Oh, I got all the score for it, so... Okay. Just because someone's at the top of the board does not mean they need to be using any kind of good guns, because I just used the worst ones and still did all right with it. Mostly playing objective. But there you guys go. That's pretty much the two worst guns in Modern Warfare 3. Mostly because the inaccuracy with it and the very small damage ranges. So again, with the 725 or the Lockwood 300, you can mess around with it by putting on the Dragon's Breath rounds, and it'll just reduce the actual effective damage range or the minimum damage range by a pretty good amount there. This one you can't put on, or actually, yeah, when you run it, it says increase it to 15 meters. That is a lie. It does reduce your actual damage ranges when it comes to minimum damage range or your second damage range. It does boost your effective damage range, your first one, by shooting from the hip. And that one is definitely supposed to be boosted to 44.4. Minimum damage range, not so much. It draws that one back. And as well as the bullet velocity. So that's kind of bugged out for the actual description there. Yeah, so you can run that if you really want to have the opposite. You have a little bit longer effective damage range and less minimum damage range. And this is the MX Guardian build as well. You can't really run any kind of Dragon Breath rounds because, again, it's locked unless you put on the burst fire trigger. And just to show you this, I want to go ahead and remove the magazine. And let's say the grip right there, right? So you put on the burst trigger and you put on the Dragon Breath rounds. You now have it to where it goes up to 3.2 meters, while minimum damage range is 14.8 meters. You take it off, have the normal full auto. Let's go over here and open it up, and it goes back down to 6.5. So generally, you don't want to be running the trigger. It's just going to buff it. If you are going to be running it for the worst build you can possibly give it. And this is pretty much it. The two worst guns you can run with until they decide to start nerfing other guns. Like I said, I will be going over more generally good guns to be using. Some that people don't really use. Or they probably do use, but it's going to be different builds from the normal meta you would be seeing on YouTube by other bigger content creators. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.